Would you like to express your love to your spouse in a meaningful way to build intimacy and strengthen your marriage? If you are single and hope to get married one day, I encourage you to watch this video. In this video, I'm gonna share 10 ways you can show love to your spouse and create a connection that leads to deeper intimacy. Hi, I'm Dr. Elias Moitinho with Motivation and Growth. In this channel, I'll be giving you tips and life skills to help you grow in your life. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, licensed professional counselor, and a professor of counseling. More importantly, I have been happily married for over 28 years. So I'll share with you things that I've learned from clinical practice, teaching, and obviously life experience. Tip number 1, motivate and encourage your spouse to pursue his or her dreams. Your spouse may have educational, career, or professional goals. You can come alongside your spouse and provide words of encouragement and give him or her support. For example, you may place encouraging notes around the house. You may take the time to clean the house so that, for example, your spouse may have more time to study. You can even, if you have children, you can take the time to play with the children to allow your spouse the time to study and focus on her career, for example. By doing so, you communicate, I believe in you, in your vision for your life. Tip number 2, be faithful to your spouse. We live in a day and age when, unfortunately, many people devalue commitment. Commitment means that you made a pledge to be emotionally and physically faithful to your spouse. So don't allow pornography to come into your life. Don't flirt with other people. Have appropriate boundaries with other people outside of your relationship. When you are faithful to your spouse, you communicate, you are special. I don't need anyone else. In fact, you are better than anyone else. That's why I chose you. Tip number 3, be the expert on your spouse and meet his or her needs. Take the time to study your spouse and figure out what he or she needs from you. For example, your spouse may need support or encouragement. And physical touch, like holding hands, a nice hug, that does not necessarily lead to physical intimacy, is a way to show support to your spouse. And it communicates, I want to come alongside you and meet your needs in a way that only a spouse can meet for you. Tip number 4, praise and appreciate your spouse. Everybody needs a word of affirmation, including your spouse. You can praise your spouse for who he is, for who she is, and you can appreciate your spouse for what he does and what she does. Think of specific things about his or her character and praise your spouse. Just look around and see all the many things that your spouse does for you and be thankful and appreciate your spouse. When you do that, you are saying to him or her, you are the best and I am proud of you. Tip number 5, be an active team member. A happy marriage requires a lot of teamwork to keep the house clean and organized, to keep the finances going well, maintain the cars, raise the children, you name it. It requires a lot of energy, focus, and reality is one person can't do it alone. So take some time to sit down with your spouse and develop a plan to share what each of you can do to contribute to the marriage and make sure things are going well. For example, guys, you may clean the house for your wife. Yes, you heard it. By doing so, you communicate to your spouse, you can count on me. Tip number 6, have fun with your spouse and laugh together. You probably live a very busy life, maybe with a lot of work, maybe with your children, maybe with school activities. Life is busy. So make time to have fun together. Maybe simple things like watching funny videos together, playing board games, or you have adventures like going to the beach, going to the lake, going to the park. When you do those things, you communicate, I want to enjoy my life with you. Number 7, be on the same page financially. According to research, the higher the frequency of arguments over finances, the more likely couples are to divorce. Debt can create a lot of stress on a couple's relationship. One person may be a saver, the other person may be a spender. So it's important for you two to come together and agree on a wise money management strategy that will work for you. By doing so, you are communicating, hey, we are responsible administrators of the gifts and financial blessings that God has given us. Tip number 8, have a compelling vision for your marriage. Probably you have talked about some things you want to accomplish as a couple. But here, I want you to be intentional and think towards the future, even 5, 10, 20 years from now. And ask yourselves these types of questions. What kind of marriage do we want to have? What kind of couple do we want to become? What kind of difference do we want to make in other people's lives? When you ask those types of questions and when you develop a vision for your marriage, then you are communicating, we can achieve this together. We can be this together. You may even ask, what kind of couple does God want us to become? Tip number 9, communicate openly and listen with empathy. When you share your thoughts, your ideas, your feelings, how you are doing with your spouse, you are letting your spouse know you. And when you listen to your spouse with empathy, you are showing a desire to fully understand your spouse. Yes, intimacy means to know and to be known, so communication is essential. When you communicate, you are saying, I want to be intimate with you, I want to know and to be known. Let me encourage you to watch my videos on communication and listening skills in this channel. They're going to be very helpful to you. Tip number 10, follow God together. My wife and I are Christians, and we follow God individually and together as a couple. And we believe this part of our relationship, following God, gives meaning and purpose to our individual lives and to our marriage. So we want to encourage you to follow God as individuals and as a couple. When you do that, you are saying following God is essential in our lives and brings meaning and purpose to us. And here is the bonus tip. There is a type of love that is called agape love. Agape love is a love that is other-focused. It asks, how can I be a blessing to my spouse? How can I encourage, affirm, support my spouse? It's a love that is patient and kind. It doesn't get angry easily. It's a love that keeps no record of wrongs. It always forgives. So, have that type of love in your marriage. Hi, if you liked this video, let me encourage you to click the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.